Are we going live? We're live. Okay, we're live. Chucky, we're live. All right. Yay. Says here we are. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Looks like we're live. Look like it's the one that I did. And hello, technology. Technology working. Technology working. Anybody? Anybody? We'll give it a few minutes. It's fine. Right? You want to help up on your little chair? Want a little bub? I got a kitty I'm taking care of. Good morning, Laura. Yay! I saw your comment on the other one, and Suzanne. Okay, it got a little bit wonky. I don't know why, but here we are. Cheryl in that one, uno persona. Wonderful, calling people by their stage names. I guess I'm pretty consistent being Beth from Destination Decluttered. At one point, I was Maud Betty from Retro Roadmap, but that's a whole nother thing. But yay, we're here today. And yeah, it is way more morning for me than it may be for some of you all, since I tend to be East Coast representing. But it's pretty early. We've got what? It's 8:04 in the morning. There we go. We're good. We're live, and we're here for an hour. So that being said, just seeing if everything's okay. Happy Tuesday. My roommate here, my meowing roommate. I think she misses her mom. I do. Gina Mead, hey, nice to see you. So you may hear somebody crying in the background, but I promise you, she has been given her pill. She's been given her wet food and dry food and fresh water. And I cleaned out her box, and she's gotten some cuddles. I even suggested she come back and cuddle and just stay in bed with me, but not so much. So good morning. Hey, here's a fun thing. I just noticed. So it looks like we've got about 12 people watching and about 2 people who have given the thumbs up. Now, I will share with you, I don't know how to give the thumbs up on this from your perspective, but there may be an option where you are, the interface you have that says like or share this live. Why don't we practice that? Okay. I saw a third one. I saw an 11. Okay. So the numbers are changing. Just something. McDoug's from Tampa and Louise from New Hampshire. They kind of rhyme. New Hampshire and Atlanta and Tampa. I love it. So there we go. And yeah, thanks for the reminder. I don't know if it really works in getting the word out. What I may do, just as a heads up, I'm thinking about this because it's still fairly early where I am. And happily, my day is pretty lightly scheduled today, that after this, I may do a pop-up YouTube live. I'm going to let you guys know that, so you know that, or excuse me, TikTok live. So I may do that. But in the meantime, here we are. Here we are. And 100% that one persona, that is such one of my things. Can't hurt, might help. Such a good mantra. Can't hurt, might help. You just never know until you try, right? So every little bit helps too. Every little bit. And when you can chunk things down into little bits, those things are what help you get started. You know, if somebody said, could you make $1,000 today? You'd probably be like, I don't know. But somebody said, could you make a penny today? Well, I'm sure I could find a penny somewhere, or ask somebody for a penny, or, something. And then you just scale it up. So, yeah. So what would you like to get into today? What can I help you with today? Now, this is the cool thing I will share with you. We can't do this all the time when I'm doing something on YouTube or TikTok rather, because there's so many more people. But we have like a nice handful of people here, and a crabby kitty. Aw. She's looking for her mom, I think. Come here. Psst, psst. She's also 18, so maybe she's just crying because why the hell not? How can I help you today? Now, you've already helped me, frankly, because you gave some structure to my life. You helped me keep a promise that I made to myself and to you. And to me, building that promise-keeping muscle is something I like to work out. I did a walk around the neighborhood this morning, and I did some yoga stretches. But I also practiced the muscle of, as Brian Wilson might say, being true to your school, being true to yourself. Is there a promise you have made to yourself that you haven't kept yet? Maybe just about decluttering. Is there something that's bugging you that you're procrastinating on? Because, well, who knows the because? The because is like the layer deep. This was something interesting I was thinking of when I was reading. I brought some books with me because I knew I'd have some downtime. Okay. Okay. So Laura says, okay, Parsons chairs, foam drying out, decision needs to be made, fix or let go. So let's do Louise first. So one thing that might help you to figure out, and this is where we know that money does factor into our decision making. I'd be lying if it didn't. Money decides, I was able to stay out here for a week because I'm staying for free. Well, because I'm taking care of the kitty. But if I had to stay out here for a week and I had to pay for, $500 a night at a hotel, that'd be a different story. So Louise, what I would recommend is, I don't know if you're going to, if the foam is drying out and you want to replace the foam, fix it or let it go, maybe get a quote. Maybe get a quote to see how, oh, kitty. She's just doing her morning. I'm not used to having a cat, so it's kind of funny. See if you can find somebody who fixes those things. See if you yourself want to fix it. The quote may help kind of, tip the balances. Do I want to pay that much to get it? Or is that too much money? Would I rather spend that money on a new chair? So that may be helpful. Now, I would suggest that. Also, is it a comfortable chair even when the foam isn't dried out? Even if you liked it back then, do you like it now? Is it comfortable for your body right now? Our bodies change. I remember once my dad trying to get into one of my like mid-century modern chairs. Now, God, he was definitely younger than me right now, but still his weight and his balance, it made a challenge. So he was more of like a captain's chair kind of guy. Now, Laura is saying, I'm still struggling with feeling like there is too much decorative stuff in some rooms, but they are things I don't want to send out of the house. Okay, so could you, just throwing it out there, notice how you're saying it seems like there's too much in certain rooms. Could you spread those things out? Could you shuffle them around and put them in different rooms? Could you have like a seasonal thing where you change the decor, where you pull everything out, see how it looks to just pull one thing out and then another? It may not be. It may be one of these kind of definitely more artistic things where you notice what, if you just go one by one, what pieces do you think are causing that too much feeling? Now, Laura is seeing the comparison. Visited your brother's house and he had a very spare looking aesthetic and it feels calmer than in my house. Okay, now I love a calm aesthetic, but I also love my stuff that I collect. One thing, hey, psst, psst, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm just going to shut the door. Excuse me. No. You can't go outside. No. No. I'm back. Yeah. All right. So notice that you can enjoy the spare looking aesthetic. Maybe you can experiment with, just because you don't like, for example, my friend has some stuff on this shelf here. I would suggest, if you don't like how it looks, take the stuff off and pack it away temporarily. That doesn't mean it goes right from your shelf to the out the door. But you could experiment with how it feels when you have a more spare aesthetic. And maybe then what you do is very judiciously and artistically bring out things one at a time. Maybe you also, this is what I do at home, is I create areas of open space, and then I create areas that are a lot more kind of, as we would say in the biz, massed. A lot of things kind of in one area. So it doesn't look cluttery all over the place, but there's a focal point of all sorts of stuff to look at, and then there's other stuff. Okay. So yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I really don't have rooms in other rooms, that our basement is still hoarder aesthetic. Okay. Okay, good to know. Well, here's a good thing. Laura, I love that your brain is coming up with clues. Maybe once my adult kids take their stuff out, there'll be more room for me to store a rotation of things. Okay. Now, what I would offer with that is, how old are your kids? Do they live with you? If they don't live with you and they're old enough to take care of their own stuff, maybe you do have a conversation with them about, this is not the storage unit for you. That could be a thing where now it's time for them to decide on some of their stuff. The other thing too is that quantity versus quality thing. The stuff that's in your basement, that's the hoarder aesthetic. Are there some things that would be easier for you to let go that are in the basement that you could really just kind of create enough space that you could temporarily store the things you care more about? All sorts of things you could do. But notice how you feel in different environments. I feel different in this environment, both the weather, but also the way my friend has decorated her house. There's certain things I like. Is this what I would do? I don't know, but it's kind of neat to kind of experiment with and notice how your environment can affect how you feel. And if you're feeling like it's too cluttered, play with that. Becky says, was going through my daughter's old dance costumes. Oh, moving them on because she will never wear them again, but somebody can use them, pulls on the heartstrings, but we have the photos. Yes, I coached with I helped a woman who owned a dance studio. She was talking about that very same thing. Yes, sometimes the sentimental objects will tug at your heartstrings, but knowing that you have pictures of them in their costume will remind you of that, so you don't need to keep the costume. Also, the fact that somebody else may benefit from it for, a recital, I guess you call it, or maybe even Halloween, that type of thing. Now that one persona, trying not to be hard on myself for taking a self-care day. And I love this because I said, I saw Louise, that one persona, tell the backseat driver to shh and be quiet. Yeah. Slept in and looking at things to redecorate, but the backseat driver is telling me to get work. Here's a fun thing. Redecorating is work. So even mentally redecorating will take energy. Okay. What I would get curious about, this is what I would do. Maybe even if I'm still sitting in bed, your backseat driver, here's an interesting thing. Here's an interesting concept. Let's play with this one. Okay. You've got the two voices in your car. You've got your backseat driver and you've got your co-pilot. Now, I like to think of your co-pilot as your soul, God, love, things like that. Oh, Kitty. But the backseat driver, is it somebody else's voice entirely? Is it somebody else who is telling you to get busy, to get to work? Why do they want to get to work? I would get curious. I would interview them. I'd sit there in bed with my notebook. Why should I get to work? You should get to work. Why? Well, because that's what you're supposed to do. I think laziness is a construct. I think people that always want you to work find out what's in it for them. And learning how to lovingly talk back to your backseat drivers, to even just not believe them immediately what they say. Every thought you have is not worth believing. Run it through the filter. See how it makes you feel. Okay? And sleeping in and taking care of your human body and your mental state and how you feel is something that's important. It's like telling somebody, like, I can only imagine some boss who runs a big kind of crappy business might be like task mastering his employees to get to work and work harder, but he would never do that to his car. He would never start driving and keep on driving if the gas tank was empty. No, he would stop and especially because I'm out here in the desert and I have an electric car, he would have to spend some time charging his car in order to not break his car. So have a conversation with your backseat drivers, but if you don't want to get up, you don't have to. Okay. Now, I love this. Okay. There we go. Okay, so Laura, notice how we're going to get back to the kind of the kids stuff in the basement and temporarily. So many things are temporary. This time next week, I'll be on a plane flying home. Laura Voorhees' kids, one lives with me and the other is moving from Florida to North Carolina. Both will be finding new homes this summer and early fall. Okay, so could you live comfortably in that land of it can't be how I want it just yet, but give me a few months and things will change? Could you? It will be easier. You could, as you rightly noticed, there are some obstacles in your way. There are some roadblocks to you getting your home looking and feeling more like you want it to right now. But that doesn't mean that it would be so much easier if you kind of wait and have patience this summer or early fall. Because what you've already decided too, if you think about it, you've already decided those things that you think are your clutter, you still want them. So that's important. You can be deciding when the kids move and get their stuff out, then I want to do this, and write that stuff down. You know, write that stuff down. Every kind of like I said, every thought you have doesn't need to be believed, and every thought you have doesn't need to or is unable to be happening right now. I can't be here in Palm Springs and in Pennsylvania at the same time. I can't be doing this dream, of living in Palm Springs, making this come true, and then also like on a lie flat, business class flight. Here, get in your chair, silly. On a business class flight going to Sydney, Australia. So patience and knowing that temporary. It is a temporary thing where your kids are going to be there. You can also start to have a conversation with your kids if they're going to be moving out, helping them decide what they want to bring with them and what they want to let go of. You could start that sooner rather than later, maybe with them, So, couple of things. Louise, comfortable for Jim, for not for me. Okay, then have Jim fix the chair. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. Yeah. Now, that one persona grew up with a dad who prioritized work and a mom who always did housework. I'm working on changing the narrative that it's okay to have a rest day. Currently also cuddling with the kiddo. Yes. Yes. Notice the backseat drivers aren't even your own voice. Your voice is saying, I'm tired. I need to rest. But you've got the echoes. You've got the ghosts of your dad and your mom working. Now, maybe that worked out for them. Maybe they truly enjoyed it. Maybe they wished they could have taken a rest, but they had the ghosts of their parents' voices. And I will say this, back in the day, it was a lot more strict for that type of thing, And like Louise says, she says, since Beth, I have found that taking time to refuel your tank is helping me not to feel as guilty if there's a day that I just can't do it. Yeah, guilt is something that somebody puts on you, and then you put it on yourself to make yourself feel bad. Hush, girlie. You want to sit on my lap? You want to sit on my lap? Come here. You want to say hi to people? Here, come here. Come here. Look who I got. I got somebody. This is Chook. Everybody, this is Chook. And she's being a little nudge this morning. I don't know why. I think she misses her mama. So I have her on my... Oh, maybe she goes up on the table. I don't know. Kitties, they always want you to show you their butts. That's why she's standing there. There we go. Okay. So yes, she is. I know. Uh-huh. There she is. Okay, she's drinking out of her water. Yeah, and that one persona, the backseat drivers aren't really your voice. And even if you do hear it, she does have a loud meow. I know. It's also a very echoey kind of house. So even if it is your own voice, are you imitating somebody else? Are you yelling at yourself the way somebody used to yell at you? Would you can change that. You can change that. Yeah, and I love this. And I am so psyched for you, Louise, because Louise is saying, since Beth, I have found that taking time to refuel your tank is helping me not feel as guilty if there's a day that I just can't do it. And here's the cool thing, I find rather than wallowing in guilt for days after, I tend to get going again when I'm able. Yeah. So notice that, putting gas in your tank, charging your electric car is a requirement for moving forward. If you don't do it, you're at a complete standstill. I was even reading, because I don't have an electric car at home, but it was cheaper to rent one up here. And I honestly I wanted to expand my skill set so I'm more comfortable knowing how to drive and charge an electric car. And so I was reading up a little bit on it on the like Avis uh, um, website. And they were literally like, yeah, if you run out of charge, you will have to pay for your car to get towed to a place where it can get charged. So I offer to you. This is why I always start with, and I usually kind of jump into stuff with the folks on the YouTube lives, but I will share. Uh, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered for those of you who don't know me. But I always start with, how are you feeling physically? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Are you crying for some reason? Here, I'll bring over here, you can hang over with me. Okay. If you're feeling not good physically, what can you do to make yourself feel better? Resting your body. Your body is not a machine. I mean, it's a machine, but it runs out of energy. Even machines need some energy or gas or things like that. So when you learn that self-care is not some marketing campaign about like bath bombs and massages. I mean, I like both of those things, don't get me wrong. But self-care is caring for a machine that you want to last you for the rest of your life, and you want to be able to use it easily and comfortably. Again, it's like a car out in the driveway. What would you do? Would you keep on driving it and not do it? No, you would make a plan. One of my plans today is to find a place to charge the car and I will walk around and get some exercise in my body. But taking care of yourself, your physical health, but also your mental health. Notice how that one persona was feeling tired in her body, but also was feeling a feeling of guilt or anxiety or however you want to label it, because there was tension between part of her who wanted to rightly rest and the other part of her is like, no, you can't rest. You have to get up and work. Notice the tension between those two things. It's like, Joe Strummer, should I stay or should I go now in the clash? So notice where that type of thing may be creating tension, and then take some time and effort that's well worth it to discover where that tension's coming from, and then how can we dissolve it? It's going to be kind of a combo. If you need to, what I highly recommend is the hybrid, kind of like I wish I had an electric and, electric and gas vehicle, right? So you can say, all right, I'm going to stay in bed for 20 minutes and just herkle-durkle, which is one of my favorite things to do. It's a Scottish word for hanging around in bed even though you're awake. I freaking love that feeling. It is one of my favorite things. So I'll do that. And then I'll do that for maybe a half an hour, maybe even set my alarm. And then after a half an hour, I can say, oh, good, I rested myself. Now I'll get up out of bed and do some things. So find what works for you. And it may be different every day. It may be different every hour of the day. I've been going to bed earlier here because the time change is different. So find out what works for you. But one of the best places to start is with your body feeling okay and your nervous system feeling kind of, calmed down. And when you're in that way, when you're not being reactive to thoughts and feelings, when you're noticing them and you've got some distance, but you're not being totally affected by them, then you can make a variety of decisions. No, I love it. Laura Voorhees says, I herkle-durkled this morning. Funny thing is I got up kind of early. And again, notice how early and late is so arbitrary. Not arbitrary, but yeah, early and late. Somebody's early can be somebody else's late. My early here is already, 11:30 Eastern time. Now that's different because it's, legit different parts of the country. But there's nothing wrong with doing something that feels good. Can you imagine starting the day doing things that make you feel good? Gets you in a day that you've already done things that make you feel good. And to me, that's like the really good energy in your body is after you've done some stuff good. This is one of the reasons that I'm pulling out right now. I brought my habit tracker with me. And part of my habit tracker is many things that I do at the beginning of the day and starting the day that make me feel good. So Tuesday, the 22nd, I took my morning vitamins. Have you taken your morning vitamins? If you haven't, why don't you go grab them? We're here for another 33 minutes. I even took my walk number 1. Now, was it a long walk? No, because I got started late because I was herkle-derkling. But I walked around the block, which meant I had to get into to clothes. I had to put on sneakers, and I got out and I breathed the air before it turned wicked hot. What else? I am in the midst of drinking my water number 1. Seeing the thing that says drink water reminds me to even just take a couple of sips. So I'm working on that. And I did a official yoga stretch this morning. Was it an hour's worth of yoga? No, it was 10 minutes. But I sat there and I stretched along with a video. So what can you do today? And I know it's a little bit later for some of you, but the day is not lost. What can you do even in the next 33 minutes, 32 minutes that we're together? What can you do so that when I sign off YouTube at noon o'clock Eastern, and then maybe I will switch over to TikTok and do like a TikTok live there. What can you do in this kind of chunk of time that's going to make you feel better than you did maybe when you signed on to this? Now, you don't have to put it in the comments, but you can think about it. You can write it down. You can put it in the comments if you want, sharing it with other people. Remember, was it yesterday when we did the the YouTube live, and Judy Dukes was like, I don't want to do the dishes. Remember, Judy, you didn't want to do the dishes. And then everybody chimed in, and many people, Judy, you encouraged other people to do their dishes. And now I bet every single one of you have fewer dishes to deal with because you started with a clean sink yesterday, you know? Now, Kelly Smith is saying, I got so much done yesterday. I'm hoping to be just as productive today. I love that. What I would suggest too, though, is lower the bar so that you feel like you can achieve it. And then anything else is going to be gravy. If you got so much done yesterday, you may be starting the day with less than a full tank. You may not be. I could be totally making stuff up, but you could do that, or you might have less energy because you might have pulled muscles or, gotten tired. So notice that your level of productivity, just like your body weight, just like anything you can measure, changes from day to day, probably from hour to hour. So be psyched about what you did yesterday. Yay. But be wary of setting the bar kind of too high and then feeling bad if you don't make it. Just lower the bar. Lower the bar. Make your kind of must-dos, bare minimums that you feel good about, and then anything else is going to be gravy. Now, I love the fact that you're feeling good about what you got done yesterday. I'm feeling pretty good about what I got done. I'm going to make a plan for myself today. Yeah. Feeling good about what you do helps you do it. Chunking it down makes it easier to start because it's a small step. Yeah. And chunking it down, getting started, stopping and starting again. It's all going to be an everyday thing. It's like lather, rinse, repeat. There we go. Cheryl Siegel says, filling out my habit tracker and I'm adding a new column for 30 minutes a day to work on something in my craft room. I love that. I love that. Yes. Putting something right here, working on the craft room, and then every day. Love it. Love it. I am really psyched that I'm getting into a bit of a groove here. My husband left yesterday, and so I'm here on my own. And already yesterday I found out, okay, this is what I want to do in the mornings. And luckily I have some structure. Now, I like structure with flexibility. I do. Kind of like a willow tree maybe, or maybe some of these things that are blowing around out here. Having some kind of chunks of things to give me some stuff to do, or else I may herkle-derkle all day, which wouldn't necessarily be bad. But what do I want to do? And writing them down, So, yeah, yes. And the kitty is now, I think she's settled down. Poor dear. She's like 18 years old. Oh, there she is, I think. Yep, she's eating more of the stuff in her. I don't want to bring her attention, but she's doing all right. So, it's Tuesday. You've got some stuff to do. The stuff that you're not looking forward to, can you change your mind a little bit about it? Isn't it funny? We always say changing your mind. You can change your mind. Can you tell yourself a different story about what you need to do or how you're going to do it, or even before you even start all that kind of the mechanicalness of it, why you're going to do it. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Because if you don't have a compelling, to me, if I don't have a compelling what's in it for me, it will take a lot more for me to get started. And oftentimes we may see some things that we are procrastinating on because we don't see anything that's in it for me. Now, my big thing right nowadays, I got to share with you, is peace of mind. Is not having things, as we would say in my family, hanging over my head. The dishes are hanging, like, I got to do the dishes. I got to do the taxes. I got to. No. I do things a little bit at a time now, and it's so much easier. I did our taxes a little bit at a time. And I say did our taxes. I didn't do it, but I got the paperwork ready for the person who did it. I have started to do the dishes here a little bit at a time. I ate a bowl of cereal, and I rinsed off my spoon, and I rinsed off my bowl, and I put them both in the drying rack, boom, as opposed to just leaving them there with the stuff in it. So what can you chunk down? Now, I could leave the dishes there, but then they'd be smelly. And I like a nice clean kitchen. I like a nice neat place. I like to have my choice of my favorite dishes to eat out of. And they are easy to eat out of because they're clean. You know? So these are the things and it's funny because I show up every day and I kind of talk about the same things because that's what real life is all about. Is waking up in the morning and saying, okay, here I am. What am I going to do with this wonderful, precious day that I have that some people don't have? How lucky am I to wake up today and have today? What can I do with the energy that I have and the time that I have in a way that makes me feel good so that when I go back to this bed, when I go to sleep, I'm going to feel good about what I got done today. That's one of the reasons, too, why I get in the habit of writing down the good stuff in my good book, because I know that this is a habit. So I look to collect good things that I can write down. Like yesterday, seriously, one of my good things was I ate a tasty sandwich. Yeah, learned how to charge an electric car, Yes, got the sandwich at the sandwich spot. So what are some things that you want to write down for today that you got done? Just write them down and then do them. Easy peasy, right? Now, I know it's easier said than done, but I will offer to you that this is what I do every day, and it's been working out pretty well. And that's why I show up doing these YouTube lives for you guys. So what do we got here? It's 24 minutes of 11 or 12 for you guys. I'm here at 8:36 in the morning. Are you feeling good? I hope so. Are you doing something? Are you not doing something? What can I help you with? What can I help you with? I will patiently wait here, and I will help you with something. Because I'm doing pretty good. I have a list of things that I want to kind of get done while I'm here because, as was it Seals and Crofts, we may never pass this way again, right? Oops. Hold on. There we go. Who knows, the next time I come here, granted, I've already started planning my next visit here. That's what I do. When I'm on trips, I plan other trips. But I have some things that I would like to say I did before I go home. And they may be small and inconsequential to other people, but they will give me some structure and things that I want to do. I'm going to feel good about it. I have them written down and I've chunked them out over each day. I could cram them all in and exhaust myself in one day, but I'm going to spread it out. Let's spread it out and chunk it down. So, how about you? How about you? Now, there we go. There's my microphone. Very strange. There we go. Now, one thing I was just thinking of too that I want to tell you, and I don't see a lot of activity. There we go. Kelly Smith, thank you. Because I was like, I don't see a lot of activity, which is good because it means you're probably doing something. And Kelly Smith says, I'm mulching in the garden as you talk. Yeah, notice mulch. Mulch. It keeps out the bad stuff and it hopefully gives some nutrients and keeps some moist soil. How can you mulch your life? What could you add to your life to make it better and more nutritious? One thing I was going to mention, actually, so I still will, is this weekend we've got a couple of the decluttering parties coming up on Saturday morning and Sunday. We've got 2 decluttering parties this weekend if you're interested. Oh, Kelly Smith, then I have 15 kennels to clean. And you know how you do that? You chunk it down. You don't try to, you can't do all of them at once. You do one at a time. And yeah, I just cleaned out a cat box. So I know that feeling. So we've got a couple of decluttering parties this week. I also have chosen the dates for the May decluttering party. So I will be working on putting those together because this is crazy. And I'm just going to check now because I can kind of see it in my head. I often can see about 2 weeks in advance in my head and then it gets a little bit fuzzy. But May is going to be in less than 2 weeks. Yeah. May is going to be in less than 2 weeks. That means 4 months have gone past in this year. How are you feeling looking in the rearview mirror about the past 4 months? If you have been writing down some good stuff, hopefully you're telling yourself a good story of what has happened in the past 4 months for you. If not, how about starting now? Doesn't matter what day you start your journey, just starting it. What day you start writing down the good stuff. It could be today, Tuesday, April 22nd. It doesn't need to be the first of the month. It doesn't mean to be a Sunday or a Monday or one of those kind of declaratory days. You can start to look for the good in your life. And when you look for the good, you're going to find the good. The good is going to happen and you're going to want to make more of it. And sometimes one way of making more of the good is by stopping some of the stuff that ain't working. Simply by stopping the stuff that isn't working starts things being better. So is there something that you've been doing that hasn't been working for you that you could just kind of turn down the volume on? Yep. I hope you have some early Saturday morning May parties. Our son has early soccer games on the April party dates. Okay, good to know. Yeah. I will take a look at that. I will write that down. That one persona, when you say early on a Saturday morning, what would be a good time for you? I'm just writing down. Oh, there's something weird there. Yay, McDugs is feeling good. Awesome. Notice also, even when you reflect and looked in the back rear view mirror saying you're feeling good about these past 4 months have passed, what are some things you can replicate? What are the things that have caused you to feel good? Because kind of in that proof is in the pudding type of thing. Or just if it made you feel good back then, it's possible that it could make you feel good again. Now, for me, a lot of it I will share with you. And it must be, who knows, it's the time of life. And maybe I wouldn't have said this earlier in my life, but I am telling you, my quiet little life of getting up in the morning and taking a walk and doing a TikTok live and that type of thing, here, I'm going to do this. Stuff just showed up from my sister. Let me focus. But the things that made you feel good in this past month, maybe something that makes you feel good that you can do more of. And I don't mean more of, but it's just even just showing up and continuing to do it. I have really enjoyed taking yoga classes. Am I taking them this week? No, but I'm doing some of my own. And when I get home, and actually I should do that, sign up for yoga. I'm going to write that down. I have found, sadly, that when I drink more water and I drink less alcohol, I feel better. So I'm drinking more water. And every time I say to myself, drink more water, I just take a sip. And I'm measuring it. Notice this thing started full this morning and now I'm down to here. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. It's just that the party time ends. Okay. So yeah. So I will take a look at those dates. I will, because I do believe the pool guy's here. So, I totally lost my train of thought because I saw the pool guy pulling up. Every month is going to be different. Every day is going to be different. And I think that's cool. You never know who wants things. I mean, there can be some nice consistency and you get in a rhythm, but boy, do I like it when unexpected things here, you know? So I have taken a note of that. And you know me, I do listen to you because if that works out for me and can work out for you, I'll do it. Now, here's the funny thing. The early morning YouTube, or excuse me, the declutter parties have been a wee bit more of a challenge for me because I got the unexpected opportunity to come out to California. So instead of it being 9 a.m., it's really 6 a.m. for me. So it will be so much easier for me to do even an 8 o'clock in the morning YouTube or declutter party in May um, than out here. So how cool is that? Yeah. So yes, there's a pool here. I'm looking forward to the pool guy cleaning it out because one of the things that is on my list of doing before I go home is I want to spend some time in the pool. I'm typically not a pool person. I'm more like pool or pool adjacent. I like hanging out near the pool. I don't necessarily need to be in the pool to reap the benefits of it. But yeah, that's something on my list is take advantage of all of these opportunities that I have, you know? Uh, so that one persona says, tell us about the weather in one of your favorite places. Well, I will tell you this. So I'm in Palm Springs, California right now. And one of the things I've realized that's important to me is my temperature, my body temperature. It's kind of like Goldilocks. I don't want to be too hot. I don't want to be too cold. I want to be just right. And I like it when it's about 75 to 85 degrees out. I like it when there is sun, but not that but there are some clouds, so I don't feel like I'm totally getting burned. Especially if I don't have any I'm afraid my sunscreen is failing. I like it when it's dry, but not too dry. Again, it's just feeling comfortable. So I'm not, again, not too hot, not too cold. I will say that there are windy parts of Palm Springs, and I'm in a bit of a windy zone last night. I actually liked the breeze coming through. I had the windows open because I like the fresh air coming through. But then sometimes the wind can be too much. So a nice breeze, but not too much of a breeze. And that's what makes me the happiest the most. I don't do well in the cold weather. I don't care for the cold weather. When it is cold, all I ever think about is how to get warm again. And so that's why literally I'm making plans for more trips to warm places because that makes me feel good. Knowing what makes you feel good helps you get it more easily. If I just said I like to travel, well, that could be travel to Antarctica. Now, some people may want to do that. I will be okay if I'd never get to Antarctica. But I want to go someplace where the weather is pleasant, and especially with the contrast between the winter in New England and the Northeast, and knowing that I don't have to be there. I can choose to be there or I can be somewhere else is really delighted for me. So, yeah, I really dig that. Now, the funny thing is when it gets too hot here, then I'm happy to come into the nice, cool, insides. I'm not a big fan of air conditioning, but man, when you need it, you need it. Now, typically we need that more on the East Coast because of the humidity, but it's still good to have here. Yesterday, actually, because I had the slider open, the AC kicked on here, and I was like, oh, we don't need the AC. I'm cool with this. I probably like it a little bit more warm than other people. But I also elaborate on this to just say, hey, you know what? Finding these things out just helps you when you know yourself better, you can more easily get things that you want. You know more easily where to look for vacation things and not. You know more easily what clothing to buy. Like I will buy a sweatshirt more so than like a tank top with, like the thing that's emblazoned of where I'm going. The more you know about yourself, and it can be what you liked back in the day, or it can change. Knowing about who you are now, 2025, the 2025 version of you. And is it the same as before? Maybe. Is it different? Maybe. All of that is okay. All of that is okay. Now, I used to try to tan more. Now I'm trying to, preserve my skin and not get skin cancer. So yeah, I have some fun stuff that I'm going to do today. I'm going to go shopping. I will share this is, as I said in my email to you all. This is kind of the epicenter of the style. Much of the style out here is something that I have admired for a long time and incorporated into my home for the past 20 or so years. The interesting thing for me is, I will share, is going through these places, and I got to share what a delightful feeling it is to feel good about my home back home, to feel good about what I own and how it's decorated and the items I have in it, and not feel like I'm in lack, like, oh, I wish I could buy that, but being cool with what I have allows me to still go out and look at these things and enjoy them visually and see the vignettes they put together. And there's this one shop out here that I think is so adorable that if I had a house out here, I'd probably just be like, can you just decorate for me? Because you guys do such a great job. It's called H3K. And I just love the colors and the lines and the fun stuff, but I'm also really happy with what I have at home. And so, yes, I will still go look because I'm a visual person and I may see something I like, or I just may be inspired by it, being surrounded by those environments. So what kind of environment inspires you? Earlier, Laura Voorhees was noticing the difference between how her brother has a home that's kind of minimalist. And then she got back to her home and she had quite a few tchotchkes in it, things. Now, I know the feeling of my home at home feels good, but I wonder how it will feel when I get home. Will I feel like I have too much? Will I feel like I don't have enough? No, I think I have a feeling of just right, and that feeling of just right is a wonderful feeling. So notice what comprises your recipe of just right. So funny. I'm just getting distracted by things outside. But what is your just right? What are the ingredients in your cookie called just right? Is it raisins, or is it oatmeal, or is it butterscotch chips, or is it chopped up walnuts, or is it dates? Is it chocolate chips? Is it a chocolate-based cookie? Is it a strawberry-based cookie? Is it a gingerbread? What are the things that you really enjoy? And the more that you know these things and write them down, the more you can bring them into your life. The more you can make them happen. The reason I am out here is because I have come out and visited here, and I have met people who are out here, and I've expressed my love of this area and put it out there. It cannot hurt. We said earlier, can't hurt, might help. It can never hurt to ask somebody or just put it out there. I would be happy to house sit for you if you ever need a house sitter. It's just a sentence of words that's communicated to somebody else, but sometimes it plants a seed. And sometimes the seed is dormant until somebody needs a house sitter, and then it sprouts. And they say, hey, Beth said once she could come out here and house sit. But that would not have happened unless I knew that I thought it would be fun to stay out here, and I did something about it. Now, I wasn't heavy-handed about it, but to me, putting, what do you call it? Planting seeds, and not all the seeds you plant are going to sprout. Doesn't stop you from planting them, right? So what are some things you could do today to not even, like it's not going to happen today. What's a seed you could plant? What is a sentence that you could share with somebody else that would start the ball rolling on something you want to happen? Now, because we've talked about it for the past earlier in today's YouTube live, I would say, like to Laura Voorhees, could you, one of the things she might be able to do is to have a conversation, ask your kid, hey, when are you leaving? That sounds awful. But what are your plans? When do you think you're going to move out? What do you think you want to bring with you? I've been listening to Beth on Destination Decluttered, and she knows how to declutter. Would you like me to help you decide what you want to keep with you and what you're ready to let go of, because it's not going to stay here? That would be a seed planted to get Laura more space in her home for her stuff, because she's helping the other stuff leave. What's a sentence you could do today? Here's a sentence I did yesterday that I know I want to come back here next year. And I am good. Like if I did not come back to Palm Springs for a number of years, that would be okay because I have done a lot here and I know the lay of the land and I enjoy that. But there are other places in the world that I want to explore for the first time as opposed to coming back a second time. However, one thing I do know that I love to do is I love to share what I love with people who I know would enjoy it too. Now, my sister, I know, would enjoy Palm Springs. So I planted a seed with her and I said, well, it would be fun for me and my husband. We would have fun showing them around. So what did I do yesterday? I texted her and I said, what do you have going on the first week of March or the first weekend of March night in 2026? And she's like, I got nothing. I said, would you like to go out to Palm Springs? Cliff and I would love to show you around. And she said, hell yes. So a seed has been planted, you know? I love it. Laura Voorhees says, we walked around at Christmas time with Post-it notes for them to choose the furniture. Awesome. Awesome. So that was great back in Christmas. Now it's April. What could you do in April to make it easier for them to move out? Now, the reason I'm saying this too is the notion of chunking it down and starting sooner rather than later makes it easier for people to do it. If you start in April, even if they're not moving until July, August, September, there are things you could do now that would make it easier for them when they are legitimately moving their things out of the house permanently to take with them. Deciding there may be some things right now, or even just taking inventory. This is a big thing I will share with you that has been a revelation to a number of my clients, that decluttering doesn't always mean immediately getting rid of something. But one important aspect of decluttering is seriously just seeing what you have, taking stock, taking inventory, noticing what you have so you know where it is and if you want to use it or not. So there may be some things that all of us have that have been packed away in mystery boxes that you don't even know what's in the box. Now, decluttering doesn't mean once you open the box, you're required by the law of decluttering to get rid of it. But what it can do is make you aware that you have that. And then at your leisure, your brain can decide whether you want it or not. Now, it may be a full set of towels that you bought on sale, but you haven't used yet. So do you want to replace your towels? Maybe, maybe not. But then maybe, because you know you have those towels, when you see that they have a need for them at your local animal shelter, that you may be able to say, well, my current towels are kind of ratty looking. I can donate those to the animals, and then I can use the fresh towels in my own home. But may never happen if you had forgotten that you had towels in a box. So remind yourself too that decluttering is also just seeing what you have, the quantity of those things, the quality of those things, getting curious about the last time you used that thing, like the who, what, when, where, and why of it. Who bought this? When did I buy this? Who, what is it? When did I buy it? Where is it? Does it belong here? Is there someplace it belongs better? Why am I keeping it? You know, answer those questions for yourself and feel good about your answers. I'm all about the feeling good about your answers. I don't care personally. It's not my job. It's not my job to convince you to part with your items. No. My job really here is to encourage you to trust yourself, to not be afraid to see what you have and not judge yourself and beat yourself up about it, but just see what you have and make a decision, bits and pieces on what you want and what you don't want. That's really how you create a home that looks and feels good, is bit by bit, piece by piece, section by section, vignette by vignette, room by room, is going and saying, do I like how that corner looks? Oh, maybe I want to fluff up the pillows. Oh, maybe I need some more pillows. You know what? I don't need as many books on the coffee table. Okay. Those are a few things I can do to make that one corner look better. You know, Laura Voorhees, having just come from a more minimalist area, maybe she wants to create a minimalist corner. Now, it's funny because as you walk into our house, and we have a small house, you can definitely see the different eras of when we started. When we moved in, We were much more kind of maximalist. Then you guys have seen the background in when I do my TikTok lives and my YouTube lives from home. My office is very minimalist because I like the white walls and the bright light and the colored punches of color and those, the big oversized artwork that I see in Palm Springs. So my office is much more Palm Springs than maybe my more kind of Americana, thrifty places in the house, you know? So the more you get to know who you are, the easier it is to just be you and to do those things, you know? Now, McDoug says, I'm planning ahead better, and I love that. Now, let me ask you all, because I've got about 2 minutes, and nobody else on the planet knows except for me and this handful of you guys. Would it help you if after I shut off this YouTube live, would it help you at all if I went on to and did a TikTok live? Would that be beneficial to you? Put that in the comments, and I'll act accordingly. You don't need to answer it to make me feel good, you know? You don't have to do it. What would work best for you? I will not be offended if you say I have to go and I get other stuff to do, but I just want to know, would that help? Because if it would help, I'll do it. Yeah. All right. Samantha says, you bet. Gina says, yay. Yes. Okay. 2 people. That's enough. I'll do that. So in about 1 minute, I'm going to sign off from here. And then there we go. Cheryl Siegel says, I love listening. Okay, cool. That will also be another one I can. Okay, good. Yay. All right. They always okay. Yay. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know. But see, notice what I asked for. I asked for your feedback. I asked for something that was going to help me make a decision. You guys were good and you gave it back to me. So there we go. Yeah, Lori says, I'll watch later. I have a doctor's appointment. Yes. Christine, hey, good to see you. So wonderful. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. It'll take me a minute or so, but you guys know I'll be coming there. So we can do that. And yeah, we'll have some fun. So awesome. Yay. It helps you get some things in order. Okay, here's something I want you to think about. There will be a bit of radio silence, as we would say, as I shut this off and I put my phone up and I get it all started up. During that radio silence, I would like you to just sit there quietly with yourself and say, what is something I can do? What is an action I can take while Beth's TikTok live is going on in the background so that I am feeling good or better or less cluttered than I was when she started? Okay. Think about what you can do to participate in your own decluttering. And then as we sign on, feel free to share it on the TikTok comments. Okay. All right, you guys, this is fun. I'm doing another YouTube tomorrow. You'll see it on the schedule on the page. I'm going to end this one, and I will see some of you on TikTok, and have an awesome day. Bye.